What's up, guys? It's that time of the month again. I've already went through this on stream many times, and honestly, I don't really want to reiterate every single unit all over again, so I'm just going to skip all of the boring ones, which pretty much all of them are, except for right here at the beginning, we have Touch of Mercy removes up to 2 harmful effects. Removes, it's going to dispel. Or it used to dispel the enemy's harmful effects. So you would stun it, sleep it, whatever. They changed it recently to stop removing CC effects, which I really big time complained about. I was like, why is it doing that? It made no sense. I said that a long time ago when it was released, even as well. Shout out to my boy Yacht Club Living way back in the day when he first pulled it and showed that it did like 200,000 damage in PvP, something really crazy unheard of at the time. And I was like, so it kills a unit, cool. Why? But like when you build a tank, it dispels units and it doesn't kill it. Like, what the heck? All right, so puts the target to sleep for 2 turns instead. That's gonna be crazy for live PvP. It's not dispelling them, so don't get mistaken here. It does probably need defense break and power buff in order to kill if it's built tanky. It's got one of the highest single target assassin abilities in the game, but now it's going to sleep you as well for 2 turns. I think that they're removing this part because the arrow means that that's not even going to be a thing anymore. They're just completely removing the debuff, enemy debuff removal. Like, as in, you get it. It's not going to dispel the enemy and cleanse your opponent and make it harder for you to kill them now. It's going to put them to sleep. Hopefully. Pretty sure that's what this arrow means. It means that the one before is no more. Literally it's skipping like everything. Kung Fu Girls get a defense break, cool. Yeah, whatever. The thing is like, I look for game changers. I'm looking at these patch notes for something that's going to really send a shockwave. Are any of these Kung Fu Girls going to do it? No, they're not. They're not going to do anything really. There might be PvE related at best for some end game players. Also this dark Polar Queen. Somebody said there, oh, it's so OP in my stream. And I'm like, no, it's not. We've seen this exact ability happen before, and you know what happens is your whole team dies to AOE damage, and then they lose 1 unit. They win the AO. It's not really OP to reflect damage. It's not an overpowered ability. Reducing damage is overpowered. That is what wins matches. Healing and surviving. When you're dead, you lose. That's how this game works. So let's just ignore what should be ignored here and actually look at what really needs to be looked at. Nothing. Like I said, I'm going to skip through as much as I can. It's pretty much a bunch of nothing, like a usual Come To Us patch. Mostly nothing. And then you'll see something that's actually relevant. Boom. 30% to 75% on the Destroy. That's pretty crazy. Destroys the enemy's max HP by 75%. So, I mean, once you use this ability on something, it's pretty much going to be dead no matter what. Like, there's no, at 25% HP, you're dead pretty much, right? By like anything. So as long as anything can follow that up later on, even after healing, you're pretty much dead. And the damage is increased by 20%. Now this kind of damage increased by 10%, my bad. Now this Eternal Scar, it's kind of redundant that it's going to be destroying max HP, but it's going to be good against like Camilla. That's about it. Another thing that is going to be good. Notice I skipped all these other units on purpose. I read them all. Don't think that I didn't look at them and give them an opportunity. They're not going to change anything in this game. You'll probably rarely, if ever, even see any of these changes. I mean, yeah, the Dark Kung Fu Girl gets a defense break. Cool. She was already good beforehand. She's going to do exactly the same as she was doing before. Maybe you'll see the Kung Fu Girls, like I said, in PvE, but all the other ones that I'm skipping, you're pretty much not going to see much. None of that's changing anything, really, at least for endgame players. Even early game players, it's not really changing too much. Yeah, you might kill an extra unit. Maybe, every day there's like 100 AOs that are one that would have lost Cool. Congratulations. But in the real world where arena matters and losing actually matters a lot more at endgame, these changes are irrelevant. But I want to go to capture as fast as possible and look at this. Attacks 1 time. Now it's going to attack 5 times. It doesn't say that it's going to distribute the damage between the 5 attacks, and I would really like some reiteration, or at least some confirmation on what that actually means. Is it going to do 5 times more damage? Because if you actually look up on Wiki, on the Summoners or Wiki, Ethna's scaling is like, 700 or something like that, plus skill ups. It's absolutely ridiculously high. I can't believe that they would. Oh, it's 940. It's 940 plus skill ups plus the 20%. I couldn't believe that it would do this, because if you power buff a 940 scaling with 20% skill ups with this kind of base attack and this kind of base speed, this could be a game-changing unit if they allow it to be what would be quote-unquote overpowered. A unit that's wind, killing anything with just power buff. It can kill anything in the game. Any one unit, she is just going to trade this ability and kill anything in the game in one hit. If that's the case, goodbye Camilla, goodbye Reyna for this unit. But then again, when you look back at it again, Sierra. What happened when Sierra was released in order to counter Camilla, in order to stop the rampage that is known as Camilla almost a year ago when Sierra was buffed because of this foresight. They knew that releasing more stats was going to create Camilla to overrule the game. We didn't really know everything else that was going to happen for all the other units that were going to come into play as well. But what happened is they buffed Sierra in order to counter Camilla. They made her stronger so she could answer it. And what happened is a monopoly happened where only Camilla was being utilized and only Sierra was being utilized as offense for competitive weeks. Best said, competitive weeks, actually. Competitive weeks where, like, everybody's going as hard as they can and everybody's trying as hard as they can. What succeeds? Well, Camilla succeeds and Sierra succeeds because nothing else is at their level of clear. Where if everybody's using Camilla, then Sierra players go up. If everything's weak to Camilla, only Sierra players go up. And if there's not enough Sierra players in order to answer the Camillas on defense, well, guess what? It doesn't matter even if there was. If there was a billion Sierras, if every player had Sierra in the game, guess what you would still use on defense, and guess what would still be good? Camilla. Camilla would still be good because it would deny almost every other unit in the game from being utilized on offense in order to create a faster speed clear against you. So you would still utilize Camilla even if Sierra was fusion. Knowing this concept and understanding this concept is why I don't think this is even going to matter. Even if this ability is doing 5 times 940%. Yes, congratulations, you Ethna owners. You now are basically an owner of a Sierra. A little bit weaker of a Sierra. You're like, Bomber, what? No. That does way more damage. Well, Sierra, it puts bombs off AoE as well, enabling a 1-turn bomb AO with Tiana that nobody else can do, as well as the third ability on Sierra does relevant damage in order to create the kill conditions with that bomb that are otherwise unobtainable with any other type of unit. Well, looking at that kind of means that if this was buffed in that crazy manner, where literally if you power buffed it, it would probably kill. If it crit like 2 out of 5 times, right? It should crit 60% of them. So let's say it has a bad chance, right? If it crit 2 of them on a Kumar, it would insta-kill it. That would be crazy. That would be so nuts for Guild Wars. It would be such a god-tier Guild Wars unit. It would be dispelling as well. If you didn't notice, it actually dispels as well. It's an additional thing. additional effect on top of everything that it already is doing. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why you're doing this many things. I thought they would have learned by now with Tiana, like people that are balance fanatics, like people that want the game to be balanced. Well, you don't want to see units get released like this. Inflicts great damage, stuns the enemy. One thing happening. The chances is increased the more HP is lost or whatever, right? So basically 2 things happening, but one of them is with the other. Then it's going to hit 5 times, deal insane damage, and on top of that, it dispels you in multi-hits. That's like 5 things going for it in one ability for a one single target assassin ability. Like, I'm pretty sure nothing has that. But it all depends on whether or not they split it between the 5 attacks or not. If they do split it in between the 5 attacks, then it's really not that big of a discussion. I kind of just wasted my breath right now because it's still not going to kill Reyna. It's still not going to kill Camilla. And we're stuck in the same meta with Reyna, Camilla, Molly, and Sierra being the dominant factors of Arena that completely monopolize and single-handedly control and puppeteer the entire upper ranks of Summer's War. And yet again, we continue our game of monopolization, of unit control, unit dominance, which is very boring, by the way, and like very much needs to change. And it needed to change a year ago when this whole thing kind of started, but that's fine. I mean, Come To Us wants to drive their train into a wall. That's up to them. With Pokemon Go coming out, I mean, I would like to see them making changes like this being 5 times more potent. I would expect them to make these game-changing, like crowd-cheering changes. Like, people want change. People want to see you do something different. They're not going over to a very, very poorly coded game. Well, not, I shouldn't say poorly coded, but like, they're not going over to Pokemon Go for no reason. They're going over to Pokemon Go because they don't want to play Summer's War anymore. And I'm in that boat too. I mean, I really, really, really just am looking for any escape or reason to not play Summer's War anymore because of how poorly balanced Endgame is. Absolutely disgusting how bad it is. And even a change like this isn't going to do anything, but at least it could show people, hey, we're willing to maybe add more counterplay options than just Sierra. Hey, we're here. We acknowledge that this is a fault of our own development. We created a monster. Let's now deal with it. And I would love for them to do that. But, Come To Us, and we'll have to wait to see what happens, because they are not clarifying whether or not this is dealing 5 times more damage, or if it's just attacking 5 times with the same amount of scaling divided into that. And that would be the biggest change probably Ethna would ever get. That'd be pretty nuts. Other than that, really, there's some changes on AI which you might need to be aware of. Dispelling units are now going to dispel only based off of how many. It's going to be not only, more often based on how many harmful effects there are. So your Velogils are even getting a bigger nerf. Like, if you want your Velogil to buff right away, guess what? It just got nerfed, if that's your goal with Velogil. It got even harder nerfed. As dumb as she already was, she even got dumber than using that ability. Or he, whatever you want to call him. I never checked under the skirt, so I don't know what's underneath there. Then, it's the same thing with like all dispellers, really. Every dispeller is getting hit by this, except, go figure, Kona? Really? Like, what? Some of the dispellers are missing, but check this list if you want to know more, if you're worried about your dispeller or whatever. Winddragon's getting a small AI buff, which might be cool for raid. I don't know. Some people try to use it. He just never uses his Illusion of Time. Maybe he'll start using it. Windvelk is gonna... The AI is gonna be set so it uses its third ability when it's under invincibility effects. Maybe Arena defense and Guild Wars defense now, possibly. That's kind of what we need for attackers. More options. More threat options on defense, then maybe a meta can form. But even a farmable unit like this could be good. But that's not gonna overtake like the Reina Camilla meta, the Reina Camilla Molly meta. Like, notice that I never call this shit a stall meta. It's not a stall meta. It is Reina, Camilla, and Molly and the game meta. I would never call this a stall meta anymore because it really isn't about stalling. It's more about these X units being better than everything else. Those are the ones that win Legend every single week, and nothing else is in that category. No stall units like Galadriel or Darien or like Diaz are like consistently being used in order to achieve these high ranks. It's just Reina, Camilla, and Molly. Those are the three units that are in this meta. It is Reina, Camilla, Molly meta, not stall meta. Really want to reiterate that and tell people that like those are the three units that are only being utilized. It's really nothing else. And back at it to the skills here. I mean, there's nothing too special going on here. Nothing's going to change the game, like I said. And I'm getting up to like 16 minutes, so I'm going to take off. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you appreciate me coming out here, giving my voice to the Summoners War community, I would appreciate a subscription to my YouTube. It does help me out. It lets me know, let you when I go and actually create these kind of videos for you. I really do create these in order to help everybody understand what's going on with Summoners War that they might not see. I know a lot of it is in kind of the midst, in the shadows. The Summoners War is kind of always been like that, where like you don't, even I remember when I didn't see the other side, and I want to help bring people to that part of Summoners War where you see what's really going on and what's truly powerful in the game, so you can actually, you know, make something for yourself and grow for yourself and actually continue going through the game and getting better. And not just Summoners War, in any game. Being able to get to that threshold to punch through and get to the other side and start understanding a whole different logic that, you know, maybe you would have never understood. A lot of people say that that's like their Korean mentality, and that's what it's all about in this game, and that's what it's all about in all the games that I really like and really enjoy. So if I helped you out in any way, please, if I earned your subscription, hit that button, man. I'm out. Thank you guys. I'm Omgbomber. This is the 1.6 or whatever. This is a new patch for Summoners War. I'm done. Peace out, guys.